For over half a century, an object has silently circled our planet, out of sight, yet not out of mind. Launched at the height of the Cold War, the spacecraft was never meant to become a permanent fixture in Earth's orbit. And yet, 53 years later, it remains, a metallic ghost drifting through the darkness, carrying the secrets of an era long past. What was once a cutting-edge machine is now a relic of human ambition, still faithfully following its orbital path as the world below changes with every passing day. But here's the mystery. Why is it still up there? What has kept it from falling back to Earth? And what kind of data might it still be transmitting, if any at all? In this video, we'll explore the fascinating story of this spacecraft's forgotten mission, uncover how it has managed to survive for so long in space, dive into the science of orbital decay, and reveal what might finally bring its half-century-long journey to an end. Back in 1972, during the height of the space race, a small satellite known as LES-1 was launched into orbit by the United States. It was part of an experimental communication satellite program, a stepping stone in the evolution of space-based technology. At the time, few could have imagined that this compact piece of hardware would still be orbiting Earth more than 5 decades later. LES-1 was supposed to test communication capabilities in space, but shortly after launch, it malfunctioned. The ETA satellite lost its ability to maintain contact with ground stations, effectively becoming space junk, or so we thought. What makes LES-1 extraordinary is that, despite its early failure, it didn't fade entirely into obscurity. In 2013, more than 40 years after it was presumed dead, amateur radio operators detected a faint signal matching LES-1's original transmission frequency. Somehow, after decades of silence, it had started to broadcast again. This sudden reawakening puzzled scientists. How could a non-functioning satellite, left to drift aimlessly, resume transmitting signals across space? It was a first-of-its-kind discovery, an old spacecraft, long considered lost, inexplicably coming back to life. LES-1 now circles Earth in a highly elliptical orbit, taking it far above the planet before swinging back in. It's no longer under any control, yet it continues its silent broadcast, a ghostly heartbeat from a forgotten mission. Its resurrection challenges our understanding of space technology and raises deeper questions about the resilience of our machines, and the possibility that space may still hold long-lost voices waiting to be heard again. To understand how a satellite like LES-1 could suddenly begin transmitting again after decades of silence, we have to look at the science behind how these machines are built and how space itself affects them over time. Satellites are powered by systems that rely on a stable source of energy, typically solar panels, and controlled onboard electronics. In LES-1's case, something went wrong early in its mission, likely a failure in the onboard timing system, that caused it to lose contact with Earth. But even when a satellite malfunctions, it doesn't necessarily mean it's completely dead. Imagine leaving an old wind-up clock in a room, forgotten for years. One day, a slight tremor shakes the floor, and the clock's gears click back into motion, ticking weakly again. In space, solar radiation, extreme temperature changes, and the vacuum can sometimes jolt old systems in unexpected ways. Scientists believe that LES-1's internal circuits, exposed to decades of cosmic radiation, may have shifted just enough to create a basic electrical loop, allowing its radio transmitter to come back online. Its solar panels, still partially functional, began powering this simple signal again, like a heartbeat in the void. But this isn't just a fluke, it's a fascinating case study. Space agencies and scientists study these long-term orbital artifacts to learn how materials age in space. Instruments like Hubble and even Earth-based observatories track zombie satellites like LES-1 to gather insight into orbital decay, radiation damage, and mechanical endurance. It's possible that LS-1's reawakening could help improve the design of future spacecraft, especially those meant for long-duration missions to the Moon, Mars, or beyond. And here's where the tension builds. As more old satellites like LS-1 linger in orbit, they become part of a growing problem: space debris. Even though LS-1 isn't a threat today, its continued survival raises urgent questions about what happens when thousands of these machines are left drifting. Are they just relics, or could they unexpectedly come back to life? Could they interfere with modern systems or collide with working satellites? What began as a simple signal in the dark might be a warning from the past, a reminder that in space, nothing is ever truly gone. The most fascinating part of LS-1's story is that we're watching it in real time, yet its most dramatic moment might already be behind or ahead of us. Unlike distant stars or galaxies where light takes hundreds or even thousands of years to reach us, this satellite is just a few hundred kilometers above Earth. We're not peering into the ancient past like we do with supernovas. We're witnessing the slow decay of a machine that's still orbiting us right now. But just because it's close doesn't mean its fate is any clearer. Satellites like LES-1 don't last forever. Over time, their orbits decay. Gravity slowly pulls them back toward Earth, and eventually they re-enter the atmosphere. When that happens, friction from our atmosphere rapidly heats them up, causing them to break apart and burn in a brilliant fireball across the sky. While LES-1 is in a high orbit, and that decay could take decades or even centuries, the end is inevitable. One day, perhaps without warning, we'll look up and see a streak of light tracing across the stars, a final moment of brilliance marking the fall of a spacecraft that refused to be forgotten. And for a brief moment, that glow might rival the brightness of Venus, perhaps even visible in daylight. A flash of history burning through our skies. A final goodbye. Or maybe, a message, reminding us just how far our journey into space has come, and how much further we still have to go. Imagine stepping outside on a quiet evening, the sky just beginning to darken. Suddenly, a brilliant streak cuts across the atmosphere. White hot, glowing and pulsing like a falling star that refuses to fade. That's LS-1, burning up in its final moments. From the ground, it would look like a fast-moving fireball, brighter than most meteors. For a few fleeting seconds, it might rival Venus in brightness, perhaps even bright enough to be seen during daylight if it re-enters at the right time. Its metal body would fracture and disintegrate, scattering fragments into glowing trails, before vanishing into the atmosphere. Across regions with clear skies, people could witness this spectacle with the naked eye. No telescopes needed. In places where satellite tracking is common, alerts would go out. Cameras would roll. Millions might watch live as a relic from the past writes its fiery signature across our modern sky. And while it wouldn't be dangerous, it's too small to survive re-entry intact. The emotional impact could be enormous. This wouldn't just be a flash of light. It would be the last chapter of a story that began half a century ago, a moment that connects generations of engineers, scientists, and dreamers. A spacecraft launched in the early days of space exploration making one final appearance, a cosmic bow before vanishing forever. For us, watching from below, It would be a once-in-a-lifetime glimpse of the past meeting the present, history dissolving into stardust. While LS1 won't explode with the elemental fury of a dying star, its slow decay still holds deep scientific significance. Studying its long journey through Earth's orbit offers scientists a rare look into how human-made materials age in the harsh conditions of space. An environment flooded with radiation, extreme temperatures, and micrometeorite impacts. Every crack, every failed circuit inside that satellite is like a page from a cosmic survival manual. It teaches us how to build better, longer-lasting spacecraft for the deep space missions of tomorrow. But more than that, LES-1's story mirrors the grand cycle of life and death in the universe. Just as stars like Antares or VY Canis Majoris will one day explode in supernovae, scattering gold, platinum, uranium, and all the elements of life across the galaxy, LS-1 will eventually break apart and return to the planet that created it. In its own small way, it becomes part of the cycle of cosmic recycling, and when we zoom out far enough, the symbolism becomes clear. The atoms in our bodies were forged in ancient stellar furnaces, blasted into space by massive explosions billions of years ago. LES-1, too, is a product of those same atoms, assembled by human hands, sent into orbit, and now drifting back into the atmosphere. Its story is a quiet echo of the stars that shaped us, reminding us that whether natural or artificial, everything in the universe is part of a continuous dance of birth, transformation, and return. Despite the dramatic imagery of LS-1 burning through the sky, there's no danger to Earth. Satellites like this are small, and when they re-enter the atmosphere, they break apart long before reaching the ground. What we see from below is simply a harmless light show, a beautiful reminder of our presence in orbit, not a threat. There might be a temporary spike in ionization in the upper atmosphere, especially if the re-entry is unusually energetic, but it won't affect us on the surface. In fact, events like this can occasionally spark minor auroras near the poles, faint, shimmering veils of color dancing in the sky. These are fascinating, not frightening. And in the broader context of space, into global moments of discovery. In the case of LS-1, the surprise already came, and it's quietly reminding us how far we've come since the dawn of the space age. We're witnessing the final breath of a silent traveler, a farewell not millions, but decades in the making. LS-1 was never meant to become a legend. It was a test satellite, a prototype, forgotten by time and left to drift above us in silence. Yet somehow it endured. While generations passed below, this lone machine circled Earth again and again, caught in an eternal waltz with gravity. And now, after 53 years, it may finally be preparing to say goodbye. There's something profoundly human about this. We send machines into space to explore, to communicate, to learn, but they also become our storytellers, reminders of our boldness, our curiosity, and our determination to reach beyond the sky. LES-1 didn't just survive, it told a story no one expected. A ghost ship in orbit, speaking across time. As we look up at the night sky, we're not just seeing stars and satellites. We're seeing echoes of ancient supernovae, of future discoveries, of moments like this where something forgotten becomes unforgettable. The cosmos is a vault of hidden wonders, waiting patiently to reveal their secrets. So keep watching, because sometimes the most incredible stories aren't unfolding millions of light years away, but right above our heads, orbiting quietly, waiting to be seen. If you found this story fascinating, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear what you think about this forgotten spacecraft and the mysteries still waiting above us.